Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Board of Selectmen's meeting for Tuesday, January 7th, 2014. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. In accordance with Mass General Law, I have to announce that this meeting is being recorded by East Long Meadow Cable Access Television and by the Selectmen's Office, and I have to ask if anyone else of our vast audience is recording it. Seeing none, we can proceed. The first part of our meeting tonight is a public forum, and we have one person signed up, Mr. Turner, if you'd like to come up. It's all right.
Like everybody else,
I know.
how you were yawning.
No, I'm trying to warm it up.
Yeah, tis the season.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, I've sent about 5 dozen or so complaints about zoning.
Mm-hmm.
And filled them out. First, they weren't in the proper form, and 5 months after I started, I was told to put them in a different form.
Yep.
I've done that. And these are people who were issued letters, and they're still not in compliance.
Okay. I know Selectman Borowski you have some, shed some light on this subject.
Right, so you've obviously gone to great lengths to document these, and you follow up regularly, and I appreciate the time you're spending to do this, Mr. Turner.
I really don't follow up. I just drive down the streets.
Just so you know, I respect and understand what you're doing here, and I have met with Mr. Hellier a couple of times and talked to him about the need to follow up, and for my own purposes, to be able to look at his documentation as to when a letter goes out, and then the notes, and I asked him to give me his file. There are 57 letters here that he has responded to in one way, shape, or form, and so I see that there's some activity. I am requesting, for my fellow board members, I'm going to be requesting a meeting with Mr. Hellier and the 3 of us separately, so that we can go over these and put a plan together that the 3 of us are very much aware of with Mr. Hellier, that we all 3 will sit down and put a plan together to say, this is where I am, this is where I'm going, this is how much time I've spent, this is the amount of time I can put together every week to do this, so that I can answer your concerns and your complaints. This is not something that, and I know you'll take this the way I mean it, Mr. Turner, you must get tired of coming here and talking to us, and I'm getting tired.
I'm tired of the polite jargon and
well,
action.
Understand that when I say I'm tired of you coming, I mean that in the nicest way. I want to address the situation, and so I've asked my fellow board members if we can meet with town council. I'm going to invite Mr. Hellier to sit down with us so we can put a plan of action together and put this to bed. And again, I have his files here. I've looked through them. There is a lot of documentation, but I can't sit here and answer all of these questions. You say it's still there. I look at his notes and see that he went on this date.
Yeah,
so,
but if someone drives it home, you're not going to go at 12 o'clock in the afternoon.
So,
the truck's going to be.
So, and we keep having these conversations, and I don't want to take your time. I want to address the situation, and so with permission from my fellow board members, I've asked to have this put on the next agenda so that we can talk with town council and Mr. Hellier and just put a plan together to put it to bed.
Because obviously, and Dan could probably assist
brought
me on
pictures.
this. Well, no, I understand what you did, but if I guess the point I'm trying to make is obviously, like Deb said, in one way, shape, or form, these have been addressed. If you send a letter to someone and they don't move their vehicle, if it's still there, it may take further action. I mean, they're not necessarily going to move it. So the fact that you're saying these are still here, it's still in process. They're not going to move them necessarily as soon as you send them a letter.
Mr. Hellier told me, in conversation with him, that after 30 days, he can fine him $100 on the first day.
And I'm sure
there are fines going
$200
out,
on the
Mr.
second,
Turner.
and I'm sure
$300 a day from thereafter.
And there are fines being issued.
And issuing a fine and actually collecting any money are 2 different
Well, that's
things.
true. I mean,
Okay, you can say you issued a fine, but if you never collect the money, it's kind of like.
So the way we collect the money,
I know
my
you add them to the
understanding
taxes.
is correct.
right.
So,
But I added these up, and it's $250,000.
wow.
But I guess
Okay?
the point.
And these are just these.
Right.
Not the other 40.
Right, but the point is, we can't, I mean, you can fine them, you can do this, you can't force them to do anything, they
No,
have
but
to
you
do.
can fine them.
Well, I know, but that's what we're in the process of doing, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
But after 30 days, you should have been in that process.
Well, I believe we are. I mean, I don't know if you.
Are we actually issuing fines? Have we-
Yes,
I
we
know
are, as a
fines have
matter of
been
fact.
issued.
Have we collected a fine?
That I don't know about, but I know
So-
fines have been issued.
Okay, because, I just got my tax bill, and it went up
Yeah.
big
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
okay? And when I came in a year ago, I talked about the aesthetics of the town, and these
Yeah.
are just little things.
Mhm.
These are little little tinky dinky steps to make the town look better.
Yeah.
And you can go all over the town, you can find out another 300 or 400 violations, easily.
Mhm.
I mean, I drive down the street and it's a trailer sitting in somebody's front lawn, a commercial trailer with lettering on it. I mean, this isn't what we're paying taxes for.
Right, right. No, I
And-
understand,
and
I
it's
understand
just
your
like,
concern.
it's just like I went to the police about the fact that people aren't shoveling. I
Mhm.
could go to them again because Shaker Road doesn't have sidewalks in it, and there should be.
Mhm.
And they haven't shoveled the ones that are there.
Right,
And those are businesses.
right. Well,
I mean, why am I, in other words, I, as a citizen of the
Mm-hmm.
town, want to see my selectmen as proactive.
mhm, and that's,
And if a mistake is made, I'd like to see a politician admit they made a mistake.
right, but we're not talking about, I mean, I guess the problem, and it's been an ongoing problem in one case, is you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. You don't know who's been fined, you don't know who's been sent letters, you don't know what's been done, you don't know what's been collected. So therefore, you keep coming back and saying nothing's been done. However, we can tell by the notes that people have been notified, they have been fined, there are actions being taken against these people. Just because it's not evident because they haven't moved their vehicle, doesn't mean nothing's being done. But I guess what I'm saying
Well,
is.
when someone says 30 days and
Well,
it's
but 30 days
5.5 months.
really doesn't mean anything. I mean, 30 days means they get a fine after that. It doesn't mean that they're gonna move the
If I
vehicle.
don't pay my taxes in 30 days, I
Yeah.
get fined.
That's true, and they're getting fined.
They're all getting fined from the day from
I haven't
10 days on.
I haven't looked through those, but I'm sure a majority of them that have been asked and answered and haven't responded are.
And the reason I'm here is because I'm not looking in side streets. These are
Right.
roads that
Right.
people drive down every day.
Right, but what I'm saying is, all the actions that Mr. Hellier's taking isn't necessarily, they're not gonna run out and move their vehicle, I guess is what I'm saying, until other actions, until the whole process is done. So
Well,
the fact
supposedly
that you
they've been
keep.
fined since 30 days
Yeah,
after
well,
this.
they can be fined till till the cows come home, but that doesn't mean that they're necessarily gonna move the vehicles, I guess is what I'm saying.
You're just gonna pay $300 a day to park the vehicle in their front
I
yard.
can't speak for them, but if the vehicle's still there, then I'm
And the
gonna.
other thing that I'd
yeah.
like to go back to is the fact that our spot zoning law, that's a business. That's a business from 7 in the morning till 7 at night, and I've checked with lawyers, and your lawyer came in and gave an opinion,
Mhm.
and he didn't answer the questions I asked either, okay?
Okay,
He answered a couple of them. From 7 in the morning to 7 at night, Mr. Hellier has access to that property.
but we can't, as we've mentioned before, you can't just go on a
It's a
person's
business.
property.
It's
It's not,
open for
it,
business,
it-
just like a restaurant.
we've already been through this,
No,
and
no,
we've gotten
you-
our
you-
opinion from our
Your
town.
opinion from, you've
From
got-
our town attorney, which
Okay.
is the law. We cannot go on a private person's
Okay, so
property. I
when
don't care if they
when
run a business out of
I send you a
there.
letter from a different lawyer, then you can look at that, and you say, hey,
Be
listen,
happy
I
to,
got
and
my
we'll
guy.
have our
I
attorney
got
look
my
at it.
guy.
Look at it, yeah.
Yeah, we'll have our
You
attorney
know,
look at it and
you can
review
look
it.
at- look
That's
all
fine.
you want, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's, like I said, we'll have our attorney look at it, because we're going by the
But,
representation of our,
it's been-
could I
it's been-
finish my thought,
Yes,
please?
I'm sorry.
We're going by the representation of our town attorney, who said we cannot go on a person's property. I don't care if it's 7 AM to 7 PM or whatever, we cannot arbitrarily go on a person's property. That's what I'm hanging my hat on, because that's what he gets paid to do. So, if you want to have whatever attorney you talk to give us their interpretation of it, I'll be happy to have Jim review it, and we can go from there. That's all we can do. I mean, we could just sit here and beat the subject to death, but we're not achieving anything. I mean,
I
like,
do,
I've been
if I
coming,
may, through the chair.
Sure.
I do understand that you're not seeing any progress or any change, but what the chair has said is there are some fines being issued, and I get what you're saying. How much fining are we going to do before we force them to do something? I don't think we have the vehicle to do that other than putting a municipal lien on, and you still wouldn't see that because the vehicle may not be moved at the, in a timely fashion. I know you want it done yesterday, but we are working the system that we have in place right now.
well, the system that you have in place
I know
right now,
what you got to say about that. Go ahead and finish, I'm
It's
sorry.
$300 a day times 365 days of the year. That's an awful lot of fines.
It is.
So
It is.
My
We just need to-
understanding is
But-
that we, as a board with town council,
Right.
and our next meeting is the 21st of January. So this time, a month from now, will be another public forum. Hopefully you can come back and we can share with you the plan we have in place and be a better informed
Or even
board for you
before
at that time.
Even before that, if we can get it,
And.
Well, we wouldn't present it until a
Right.
month from
Right,
now.
right,
Because
true,
we
true.
we
So
discuss
our
it on the
next meeting,
21st.
which is the 21st, is
True.
when I'm requesting we as a board meet with town council and Mr. Hellier so that we can put a plan in place and understand best what's going on
Right.
and be in a better position to speak with you about this.
So by the 21st, we would have all have met with Mr. Hellier to figure out.
well, that's
Yeah,
when we're gonna meet with them on the 21st.
And then the
on the
following
twen-
meeting will
Right.
be the next
Right.
public forum, which hopefully you'll come back and we'll be doing,
We'll have better
you know,
answers.
a happy dance.
Okay, well, I'll get
I'd like to
an
see
opinion from you, either the state or somebody.
Okay.
I don't have the financial resources that you do to, I've asked lawyers, they've
Mhm.
told me, I know a lot
Yeah,
of lawyers
okay.
personally. And they've said, yeah, you're right.
Well, I can get
But-
I can
but-
have our attorney get the law as he sees it and go from there.
I'd like it written down.
Okay.
Because I did not hear a lot of his mumbles when he was here. And I'm sure you
The
couldn't hear
audio,
him.
it's kind of hard.
Well,
because
he was
it
over the, he did not have a microphone, he was
Right.
sitting behind me, and he did not speak up. And he didn't answer some of the questions at all. He just did not address them. He came out with kind of a written line, like it was pre-prepared. And I don't know if somebody prepared him to come in and answer the questions.
Excuse
certain
me.
ways. The other thing, if you look at the paper that I gave you, look at number 3.
Mhm.
Okay, and I addressed that the last time. You cannot, and I've been to the assessor, to the office down here. What's the one on the corner down here?
Yeah, the assessors.
The assessor's office. And that property is zoned residential, period.
Right, and I know that person works for someone else because I've known them for 30, 40 years.
That's not the point.
Well, I
There
understand.
shouldn't be a commercial sign in front of that property.
What do you mean a sign?
There's a commercial sign in front of the
For?
property. Business.
No, I don't think 156 Border Road has one because,
Is he talking about
123 Pleasant Street.
Okay, number 3 is
Number
you said the third, you
156.
said the third one,
Yeah.
that's 156 Border Road.
Down at the
Oh, no,
bottom.
he meant the third one on the bottom.
Oh,
Oh,
Mm-hmm,
okay.
okay,
Okay?
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, okay.
okay.
And I think the answer there is not the truth. In fact, I know it's not the truth.
Okay, so I
Under
didn't
farm
realize,
laws.
so they have a sign, well,
There's no farm law that protects residential property.
is there, one?
Excuse me.
Do you know?
Actually, in the town of East Long Meadow, an agricultural use can be conducted in any zone.
Yeah, but if you're living in a residential zone, you cannot have a commercial sign. If you want to raise chickens in your backyard, you can and sell the eggs. That's fine. But you can't advertise it.
Okay, so this is that's a sign, third.
So there's a sign.
I'll look into that, because I've heard other things about that property, but this is the first time there was a sign involved, so,
Well, that's the guy who had the bulldozer parked up. The gate's always open.
okay.
Had the bulldozer there for 9 months.
Okay.
There's all sorts of junk that he's got sitting there that you can see as you drive by.
All right,
He's too lazy to shut the gate.
so I guess,
I just think it's time. I've been coming
Well,
here for 11
well,
months. Are we going to have a birthday party next month?
well, like I said, we will,
Yeah.
we will
Yeah.
follow through with Mr. Hellier at our next meeting, and we'll have some responses for you in a month.
Because I'd like to see something concrete.
Okay,
I've heard a lot of verbiage, but that's
okay.
it.
Very good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Have a good night.
Yep. Stay warm.
Trying to.
Okay.
All right, we're right on time. Our next appointment's Mr. Hellier.
Okay.
How you doing?
Sir? Okay. So I'm just going to hand
All
that
right.
right back to you while I'm here.
Okay.
And you are here regarding, I'll let you sit down first.
Two things.
Okay?
I just want to give you an update on our
office, if you haven't seen it.
No, I haven't actually. I heard they're working on it.
They were moving
They're done with
today.
it.
Done with it?
Well, we're moving.
Oh, good.
It's quite a feat.
Nah.
So I heard.
Yeah.
Did you move the safe? No, I'm just joking.
No, no more safe, but I do have cell phone coverage there,
Oh, there you go.
which is good. Another thing is, town meeting approved Maureen on my
Right,
budget.
right.
Now, she was supposed to go on she's on July 1st. And we've been in discussion about the pay and retroactive pay for her from July 1st.
Okay, so she was supposed to go on this past July.
Yeah, we were supposed to have that all done by then.
Well, wouldn't we also have, is that the case, Nick? Or were we waiting,
Maureen's pay was,
or was that the case, you know, because I know we haven't found a person to fill a new spot in the selectman's office.
Well, right, but, again, Dan is talking about a person for the building department.
Right.
And I understand that the question may be somewhat relative with the Board of Selectmen. I have to say that I've not had, I didn't have an opportunity to speak with Dan about the issue.
Okay.
I'm not saying one way or another, this is really the first I'm understanding what the issue is about. So I don't have, I'm sorry that I
No,
don't
that's
have
okay,
anything
that's
to
okay.
speak with the board about.
can you give us
But
time to look into it and figure it out?
But it,
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I'm assuming that
Well,
Dan's request is for his building department assistant to receive retroactive pay back to July 1st.
Right.
July
Okay.
1st, yeah, that's all.
Okay, yeah, if you guys can get together and we can take it
Yeah.
up at their next meeting.
That's fine.
Okay.
And has she been doing that position since then, with the extra?
Plus, she's been doing she assists the Board of Selectmen. She does the licensing.
Again, Mr. Chairman, I'm simply just not prepared to speak on
That's
the
okay.
issue this evening.
All right,
That's
we'll
fine.
just
Put it
wait
on
till
the
the next
agenda.
one, and
Yeah.
I'll
All right.
I'll have my questions prepared so that you can answer them too.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
very good.
Very good, and that's
Thanks,
it.
sir. Okay.
That's good.
Have a
Thank
good
you,
evening.
sir.
Thank you.
Be in touch.
All right, our next item. Nick, we got a Board of Selectmen and Building Department update?
Well, it was
Is that
really,
basically
it was, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know how much was going to be discussed, so I was covering the bases.
Okay, great. So we took care of that.
Well done.
And we've got a memo from Pioneer Valley Planning regarding is there a little, don't break their arm patting themselves on the back of their 2013 major accomplishments? Sorry, I didn't mean to. I say that out loud?
You did.
Anyways.
And it's recorded.
I heard you.
Okay, so, go ahead. Nick.
Mr. Chairman, there is just a note in there that within the accomplishments, there's also several resolves that they are top 10 resolves for 2014.
Yeah.
And if the board has comments, any individual member or has any comments, you do have, looking for the time, let's see. If you would make contact
31st?
with Mr. Brennan prior to January 31st.
Okay, great.
Very good.
Thank you very much. And then the next item is for Maya, which you got a report of their nominating committee every year. At least every year since I've been a selectman, I go to the Mass Municipal Association meeting, and I think we're all going, but I'm not
Yeah.
positive about that.
Yes.
Although I haven't got my room
We're
yet.
all
But anyways.
I know. That's to be discussed later, yeah.
So in any event, they have their elections for the nominating committee for the Mass Municipal Association every year, I believe it is, and we get to vote on their slate of potential members, and they've got the slate for us here, and a brief synopsis of each person, and I believe I'm the one who does the.
You are.
Yeah,
the
and
chair.
if I'm not going to be there, there's a form in here to sign, so I can, in effect, deputize one of you two, but I
But
should
you
be
will
there.
be
So,
there.
yeah, okay.
You will be there. Right, Paul?
I
You
will
will
be-
be
I
there.
will be there,
Okay.
So that should take care of that, right?
Right, so the discussion was to see whether or not you wanted to have somebody as a delegate.
Yeah.
The other thing is, if you wanted to nominate someone else other than the slate as presented, this would be an opportunity for the board to do that.
And that
Some free
needs,
time?
that needs to be done on the 31st, right?
What's
Or
that?
think
to
I-
have, to send it in, or is it the 15th or 14th?
What's this? Oh, to
Yeah, if we
nominate
wanted-
someone?
Yeah.
To nominate somebody, I believe, would be the 15th at the latest.
January
No, January
13th.
13th, okay.
13th, yeah. Okay. Alrighty. Next
Mr.
week.
Chairman, if I
Yes,
could, I
I'm
would
sorry.
encourage the
I'm
board
sorry.
members to book a hotel room sooner rather than later.
Yes, yes,
I've taken care of that, just saying.
okay. Next, we've got the Board of Health.
Okay, just real quick, Sonny's Mark had some restrictions placed on him at the, several meetings ago. He has passed all of them, I'm proud to say, and he has since made some additional ones, but I think we just should handle what we've said prior to the last meeting. And that is for him to be able to, he can serve just the sandwiches, and if he is to make any changes to his equipment, it does require for him to come back before us. So this is just officially lifting a vote to officially lift all of his restrictions with regards to his request that was made before the new year.
Perfect.
So I'll entertain a motion for that.
So moved.
Second,
Second?
any discussion? All in favor? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So that's all set. Now, there is a new disease that's being added. You have the paperwork in front of you.
I can read it for you. It's a Borrelia myomoccal.
Yeah, go ahead. I asked Nick, I
And
said, did they tell you how to pronounce it? It's a Lyme disease.
Yeah, it's carried by
yeah.
deer ticks, yeah.
Yeah, and so it's
I
just
don't know why
being
we're
added,
laughing
and
about
I'm.
this. It's probably deadly, but it just,
Did you, maybe we should spell it? I'll put it on the website. How
Okay.
about that?
Yeah.
All right. With regards to new business, the seepage handler's permit, he's looking for approval pending our acting health agent. I guess this was submitted back on, before the holidays, and, because of the holidays, we are meeting a little different. So I'll entertain a motion to approve this pending our health agent's response.
So moved.
Second,
second?
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that passes. And then there is a change, a name change for the health establishment for individual licensing. I did look at the license. I think we need to improve that somehow because it doesn't actually say what they're applying for. And I did speak briefly with Nick with regard to that, and perhaps we can get that done sometime in the near future. But for now, it's just a change of, a name change in the license. And so I'll entertain a motion for that.
So I'll so moved, you're right, the application leaves a little to be desired.
It really does. But if you're comfortable,
Yeah.
that's what we've done in the past, but I think we should look at it from this point on.
Yeah. So I'll move your motion.
Okay, and do I have a second?
Second?
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that passes, and that's it for me.
Thank you.
Oh, there was one other thing, I do apologize. The property on Maple Street has, our health agent did inspect it. It is not, there is no evidence of dumping, and she has reported that to the necessary authorities.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Okay? And that's it for
Great.
me.
Thank you. Now, before we get to the town council, meetings, invitations, and reminders. Board of Selectmen, we have a meeting next Tuesday, or week from today, January 14th at 6 PM in the media room at the Council on Aging with our department heads regarding budgets. Town offices are closed Monday, January 20th, 2014, in observance of Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And our next Board of Selectmen regular meeting is Tuesday, January 21st at 2014 at 6 PM in the Town Hall hearing room.
Mr. Chairman,
Martin
Yes.
Luther King?
if I could just add to that, Lorraine will be providing the board at the next regular meeting with a full schedule, at least for the first half. But it occurred to me to bring up your February schedule, which is also going to be the 4th and the 18th.
Okay.
Right.
So we'll have additional meetings on February 4th and February 18th at 6 PM here.
Correct.
In theory.
Although I think that there may be conflicts with some members of the board.
Oh, okay, we can discuss those at our next meeting then. Okay. Very good. And now, town council, without further ado.
Did you do meeting
I'm
presentation?
not going to shake anybody's hand.
Could you sit next to Ralph, please?
You can tell from my
Good to see
voice.
More than-
Yeah, right back there.
We'll do a
Happy New Year.
Hi, Happy New Year.
Queen's Wave.
How are you?
The royal wave.
Yes,
Royal
there you
Wave.
go.
Very
Okay,
good.
we've got, what do we got, about 10, 11, 12 items.
Yeah, and I would submit to you that items, the regrades,
What about 13?
the 13,
Yeah.
the contracts for non-collective bargaining would be executive. Personnel evaluation forms technically are subject to an executive discussion if there's going to be any discussion on the forms themselves. The Covanta agreement would be executive, as would the casino updates and the disciplinary procedures.
Okay. Okay, so with regular, we've got, first thing is the Brown property.
And I think that's a follow-up. I don't have anything to report with respect to that.
Okay, great. Yeah, we got
12, I can get the same response. I have received, this is the pilot discussions
Yeah.
with Bay Path, and I have received no update from my last discussion with you from the Board of Assessors about their proposed changes.
Oh, okay, great. That's quite, I won't go into it obviously, but that's quite a proposal, I thought. Okay, next item is the number 17, where the public schools and rec.
Yeah, I'm not sure. The last meeting we had, I had reviewed that contract and said that as long as the funding sources were available, I didn't see any real problem with it. It's a historic agreement that had between RAC and the school department, all paying for use of school facilities and custodians for recreation events. So I'm not quite sure why it's back on the agenda.
It was a carryover from the previous meeting
Okay.
for the board to consider approving and signing.
Okay. And the next item is the shared HR proposal regarding,
Mr. Chairman, so
Yes.
would the board be willing and able to sign it this evening?
what's that, the agreement?
The agreement.
Oh, sure.
Right.
Sure.
Did we vote on it?
Do we have to?
That's the question.
Because
It's at the board's pleasure.
To accept it.
Sure, I'd like to make a motion to approve the agreement between the public schools and the rec department for shared fees for the rec department use of the public schools.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Now we'll sign. Next item is a shared HR proposal. We have some interest from the town of Hampton.
Just, it came in, I believe, either the day of or the day after the last meeting, so just bring this to the board's attention.
Okay. Do you want, I'll be happy to follow up with Mr. Flynn, Selectman Flynn or something if you want, in that regard, to see how they want to progress, because I think it's, as we've said before, we went into the Pioneer Valley planning process hoping that they would give us help, and instead they want to use,
Yeah.
our benefit coordinator
Yeah.
for
Right.
Ludlow, which sort of defeats the
That's
purpose
not
of
gonna
someone
work.
who's already overworked, and I don't want to see underpaid because that'll be
Exactly.
a budget issue. But anyways, I'll be happy to talk to Selectman Flynn and see where
Get
they
some
want, how they want to proceed.
information.
Okay. And then, what have we got? Oh, the municipal space RFP, is that,
I would report to the board that, based on the meeting that we had between council and the chairman, that the plan is for the RFP to be available and issued starting next Wednesday.
oh, good, good.
That I put in the ad with the Central Register, and it will be in the Central Register next Wednesday. And then we are required also to run the ad twice in the paper for local circulation, so I'll likely want to run that in the reminder, since it is within the town. But yeah, so that is underway, and the deadline for submittal will be February 18th. Yeah.
Okay. Now, if someone's interested in that, can we send them a copy of the RFP, or do they have to go through public sources to?
Well, we are going to post people can contact the Board of Selectmen's office beginning next Wednesday at noon.
Okay.
They'll also be able to receive it or download it. The plan will be to put it up on the town website.
Oh, okay.
We do put in a clause, however, that if people go that route and get it from that source or whatever other trade journal sources, because that will often happen, that we aren't aware of, that they will be responsible for notifying us that they've received a copy, because if there are any addenda that need to be issued, we are responsible to issue them to anyone that receives a copy. However, if we don't know they have a
Okay.
copy,
Right.
we're,
Okay.
we can't be responsible for
Right.
that, so.
Okay, very good. And I think the last open meeting item is the building department?
Mr. Chairman, I might suggest that would be in executive
Okay.
as well.
Okay.
I would submit to you that item 18, which is the Covanta agreement, the update on that is not really executive. I can tell you that I've spoken with Attorney Martell, who is lead counsel for the communities. He indicates that he has made most of the changes that we requested to be made to the agreement, and is going to be submitting it to Covanta for their review and position. Just before your meeting at 5, Nick and I met with the Board of Public Works and discussed with them the rights of first refusal.
Right.
In our last meeting with Covanta, we had asked or pushed Covanta to indicate whether, if a community did not agree to a right of first refusal for recyclables other than normal household recyclables, but things that are under the control of the Board of Public Works, whether that would kick that community out of an agreement with Covanta with the other communities. And if not, what, if any, would be the difference in the contract price if a community would use Covanta for disposal of its waste products, but not use it for other recyclable products. They came back with a $4 per ton number, be the difference. So instead of being $61, which is the proposed contract rate, it would be $65 if we didn't go with the right of first refusal, which is significantly less than the existing tipping, which is what, 82?
8204.
82 and some change. We met with the Board of Public Works, and even though they were concerned about their vendors who have worked with them over the years to help them move recyclable products at reasonable prices, we explained to them the cost structure from Covanta, and their feeling was that even if there is some slight expense to them for taking the Covanta proposal, that the $4 saving per ton to the town was such a saving that they couldn't afford to pass it up.
Okay.
And what they did was they indicated that they would probably discuss with the Finance Committee any increases in their budget that might be necessary because of the right of first refusal. And we suggested that maybe they would talk to the Board of Selectmen, and the Selectmen might support that position if they presented it properly. So
Thank you so much.
that's where we stand.
Yes, thanks. Great. Other than that, I think I'd like to make a motion to move into executive session to discuss matters relating to collective non-union bargaining, contract negotiations. What would
Contract, employee negotiations regarding the regrades,
okay, employee contract regrade negotiations?
and discussions involving attorney-client privilege with respect to the casino updates.
What he said. To return to open, only to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Selectman Thorpe?
Yes.
Selectman Bronski?
Yes.
Selectman Federici, yes.